I think most Americans would appreciate a tax credit, but most Americans have to have a tax liability. But we have programs for people who work. Ronald Reagan started, what's it called? You seem smart. What's the program? Earn tax. Yeah, that was an idea for people who work but still didn't make enough money to pay taxes, that they got some help. So that program already exists. What Jason's talking about is a new program that's not what we did in 2017. And let's talk about, I'll speak for myself. I believe climate change is real. Electric vehicles are coming. There'll be a day in America where most cars are electric. That'll be good for the environment, and we need to put the infrastructure in place. We need to have a reasonable transition and not declare war on fossil fuels. We need to be able to extract fuels here at home so we don't have to buy fossil fuels from people who hate our guts. The tax credit for electrical vehicles in this bill is just unbelievably bad government. They increase tax credits for electric vehicles, but I think there's $4,500 of the $12,500, I can't remember the actual number, that you only get if you buy an electric vehicle made by a union plant, and that gives you one choice, the Chevy Volt, I believe. We're making BMWs in South Carolina and Volvos. They're making cars in West Virginia. So Build Back Better is offensive. I mean, if you really believed in the environment, what does it matter who makes the car? Why would you want to punish companies that came to America to create good jobs from Americans by taking a tax credit off the table and giving it to a union plant? Because they're trying to reward their political allies. This is another example of why this bill stinks. All right, one last question.
Yes. So we're talking about the policies here. I'm wondering, do you think that this is an effort to like radically reshape the way America is? I mean, and what are the most concerning policies when we talk about these things? Kind of more
It's good question. I think there is an effort by the liberal part of the party, which is now the dominant part of the party, to take this moment of having the House, the White House, and the Senate and dramatically reshape America. And the only thing that stops them is a united Republican Party. You got to remember, I'm one of the 19 Republicans that worked with Democrats to pass a $1.2 trillion infrastructure package because I thought it made sense. Every Republican in the House and the Senate that I know of, certainly in the Senate, opposes Build Back Better. That ought to tell you a lot about the quality of the product. Why do we oppose it? We believe it's $5 trillion, not 1.75. We believe these programs are going to do more harm than good, grow the government, march us towards socialism. If you have a child in a religious daycare setting, the child care component of this bill is not going to be available to these organizations because of the regulations. They're going to mandate higher wages, which in turn will increase costs for the consumers, and they're going to put a lot of people out of business. It's an effort to take over child care as they want to do with health care. So yes, this is a road to socialism approach. And the Democratic Party is openly talking now about packing the court because they don't like the fact that the court is more conservative than they would like. Well, the way you fix that problem is you win elections. I have voted for Sotomayor and Kagan. I voted for just about everybody. But I'm never going to support expanding the court because that is the end of the court. Because when we get in charge, will we expand it yet again? So they're willing to do a lot of damage to the structure of America, and we need to stop them. And this is a fight worth having. If this bill ever became law, there is no turning back.
Just on the child tax credit, is it too late in the year now to find some way to keep the child tax credit alive into January?
The child tax credit we're talking about doesn't need to be extended. There's a bipartisan proposal that could be worked upon to help people who work with child tax credits.
I would just follow on to your comment and your question in the last. This bill, in my opinion, is all about more command and control on the lives of working class Americans. Americans are facing numerous crises, whether it's the border crisis, whether it's the inflation crisis, whether it's the energy crisis, whether it's a leadership crisis. in the Oval Office. They're facing all kinds of crises, and this piece of legislation only makes it work. In this bill alone, there's over $300 billion to push people not to work. And we have help wanted signs all across America. We cannot find enough people. We have a supply chain crisis. And so this is the last thing that we need is for this administration, the Washington Democrats, to push this legislation to make working class Americans' lives even worse.
Thank you. We got to run. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.